I got asked that so many times coming up as a young wrestler, like, "What's plan B?"
Or you're gonna know exactly what I say is he said there's no plan B because you're already preparing for plan A to
Mhm.
fail. If you have to have a plan B is to make sure plan A is successful.
That's great. I got asked that so many times coming up as a young wrestler, like, "What's plan B?" And I was like,
There never is.
there
It's to
never
make
is."
plan
And
A successful.
like, lambasted, especially by, like, older people. Like, "Well, you don't have fallback, you don't wanna go to school, you don't wanna go to co," like, and all that. I was like, "No, like, this is what I want, like, what if it doesn't work? It has to work,
It has to work.
you
Yeah.
know, it's
Burn
going
the
to work."
ships.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that could like we are talking in the car where people say this is their dream, but they don't even want to put 10% of
right.
the effort that's required to achieve that dream.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about more about what that meant to you specifically?
For me, I grew up in Southern California, and I got into the business in 1998 in a time where even getting into professional wrestling was a giant question mark. It wasn't like we had the internet, but like
Kinda.
kind of, sort of, but not like it was today. It wasn't, wrestling school and then 300 options pop up. I had to send away for a book of where schools were and all that. And at the time, there was probably, God, I want to say maybe 20, 25 schools like on the planet.
Yeah. And
Now there's probably
for
25
reputable.
schools in San Antonio. So like I'm saying that to say I looked at my options and, Southern California, and there was a couple schools there. I wanted to be trained by people who've been where I want to go and done what I want to do. So the three that stood out to me was the Dungeon in Calgary,
Mhm.
the Power Plant WCW in Georgia, and Killer Kowalski School in Massachusetts, which was the furthest option coming from Southern California. We met Bret Hart and asked him about wrestling schools, thinking he's going to for sure say go to
The
the
dungeon.
dungeon.
Yeah.
And he says, Killer Kowalski's training a lot of good guys. So Brett's one of my heroes. That was good enough for me. Only problem was I was in Massachusetts. Anyway, saying that to say, again, that wasn't going to stop me. It was like, okay, well, this is where I have to go. This is how much money I have to save. This is what I have to do. So I got in my car, my 1981 Chevy Citation, and drove to Malden, Massachusetts, across the country, paid my tuition, and dove right in. And like, I think from the very beginning, Walter Kowalski saw that, I think at that time I was the furthest anyone had traveled, to get to his school. So he saw that, wow, this guy
He
wants it.
means it. Yeah.
Um, and I did. And again, if I, there's some couple great schools I ended up going to in Southern California years later. And if I would have started there, I just wouldn't have been the complete wrestler I was. So yeah, so that was the beginning of, just really finding out that, you get out of this what you put into it. And I had that installed to me in like years earlier in high school football and everything. But people that say that they're, working on their dream and they're putting in such little effort, and it's like, well, this dream must not matter that much to you then, because like this was all or nothing for me. And it was like I'm going, I'm doing this, and I like that, jumping without a net kind of feeling. I
Exactly.
thrived on that, especially early on. So fortunate enough for me, it worked out, and I still enjoy doing what I'm doing.